Hello, all citizens of the world. We have the pleasure today to meet with Chris Hadfield, the first Canadian commander of the International Space Station. And while aboard the ISS, he demystified so many things for us and answered so many of our questions regarding gravity and how we can do our everyday things while floating in space. I loved his he has such a big passion for music. And while he was up there, he did an amazing interpretation of Space Oddity, an amazing song by David Bowie. And, he is someone who continues to inspire us through his books and public talks. So, Mr. Hadfield, thank you so much for being with us today and to discuss and speak with our young citizens of the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Genevieve. It's a real pleasure. And I've been lucky enough as a citizen of the world to go around the world 2,650 times to see every place in the world until the whole world feels like home, like my hometown, to get to know every curve of all the coastlines and the prairies and jungles of the world. So I count myself very fortunate to be that sort of citizen, but also to use technology so that we can all be joining together from no matter where in the world we are and have this conversation today. So thank you for setting it up. I look forward to the conversation.
Yeah, and you've been around the world so many times. What image still stays in your head, in your mind? Is there an image that really comes back to you?
Genevieve, and everybody, if you're on board a spaceship, you go around the world in 92 minutes. If you think about it, the sun's over here, so you're in the light for about 46 minutes, and then you're in the dark, in the shadow of the world. But sometimes, when you're coming out of the shadow of the world, the light of the sun just catches the highest part of the Earth's air, of the Earth's atmosphere, and it highlights the crystals of water that are very, very high up in the atmosphere, and they're only visible sort of shining in the night. And so we use like a Latin word, I think, noctilucent, noct meaning night and lucent meaning visible or shining. And so you can see noctilucent clouds. And to me, it looked like a ghost surf on the world, as if the Earth had this beautiful aura of purple and dark blue flowing around the world that you could only see very briefly, and only if you got just the right angle between the spaceship and the sun as you were coming around the curve of the world. And when I got to see the noctilucent clouds, I felt like I was some sort of wizard, or that I was the luckiest person in the whole world to be able to be up on board a spaceship, seeing something so rare. Living on a spaceship, you have millions of magnificent experiences and memories, but seeing noctilucent clouds was as beautiful as anything.
I have shivers just imagining the beauty of it. You are a great inspiration for all generations, but very much so for the young ones who are just thinking of their career and their values and what they want to do in life. Are you ready to answer their questions?
I hope so. But yes, fire away. I'm all ears.
Okay, so let's start in Oakville, Ontario, Canada, right now.
Hi, my name is Melody, and I am from W.H. Morden in Oakville, Canada, the same school you attended. I want to thank you for inspiring people around the world through your remarkable achievements, such as installing the Canadarm2, your role as a commander of the International Space Station, your role as an author and a musician, and also as a host of the Astronauts. Do you have what it takes? It is truly an honor to have this opportunity to speak with you. Your journey to becoming an astronaut required extraordinary dedication and teamwork. What advice would you have for the young people about pursuing their dreams and working together to achieve the impossible? Votre chemin pour devenir astronaut a nécessité un dévouement et un travail d'équipe extraordinaire. Quel conseil donnerez-vous au jeune peuple du monde à poursuivre leurs rêves et de travailler ensemble à l'impossible?
Merci, Mélodie. Et je pense que je vais répondre en anglais. Mais j'ai commencé les langues françaises à W.H. Morton aussi, où j'ai pris l'alphabet et tout le commencement de mon deuxième langue. But I'll answer my question primarily in English. I think, to answer your question, Melody, maybe the first most important thing is, what do you dream will happen in your life? What if your life goes perfectly? What might happen? And I don't mean just the chance things, like winning the lottery or something. I mean something that you can actually control and make happen in your life. And so when you're reading a book, or when you're in the library, or when you're looking through the internet or something, what are the things that really excite you as a person? What do you think? Wow, whenever I see that, I think that's cool. I don't know, it might be horses, or it might be how the brain works, or it might be being the Prime Minister of Canada, or it might be how does the center of the earth make our magnetic field? Doesn't matter. But what is it that really makes you always sort of interested and excited? And then once you've started to think about those things, then start realizing, what can I do today or this afternoon or this weekend that will help me learn more about those things that I really love and I'm fascinated by? And if my life goes perfectly, that I would like to do. Maybe it's winning a gold medal, or doing a heart transplant, or walking on Mars. And so when I was 9 years old, when I was at W.H. Morton, the school that you are at, that's when the very first people walked on the moon. And I thought, that's the coolest thing ever. Boy, I want to do that. And so I started making choices in my life. I started reading books. I started studying and learning, and actually changing who I was, developing different skills. Like, if I'm going to fly a spaceship, then I need to know how to fly. How do you learn how to fly? And so I joined the Air Cadets, and they taught me all the things I need to know in order to be a pilot. So I think that's the most important thing, Melody, is find out, to spend the time to really decide. And it doesn't have to matter to anybody else, but really decide what matters to you in your life and what do you dream of. And then start doing things every day that move yourself a little closer to what you want to do in your life. And if you just do that every single day, it's amazing where it can lead. It took me so that I'm the only Canadian who's ever commanded a spaceship, because of what I decided when I was a 9-year-old at W.H. Morton.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your question. And how cool is it, Mr. Hadfield, that from a school where you went to, we go to a school that has your name, Chris Hadfield Public School in Brooklyn, Ontario, Canada. We have a question for you.
Hi, Mr. Hadfield. My name is Keenan Bull, and I'm a student at Chris Hadfield in Brooklyn, Ontario, Canada. We have the following question for you. Space missions are full of challenges. Can you share a moment where resilience and quick thinking made all the difference, and how young people can apply those lessons in their lives?
Thank you. And did you say your name was Keenan?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Just remember, everybody, when you say your name, you know what your name is, but the person on the other end doesn't know your name. So don't just say, my name is Keenan. When you say your name, my name is Keenan, so that then other people can actually know your name. And Keenan, what you asked me from Chris Hadfield Public School in Brooklyn was kind of the moment that you needed the most resilience and to do the right thing. When I was commanding the space station, which goes over top of Brooklyn and everybody here 16 times a day, we were looking out the window. In fact, one of my crew members came up to me and said, hey, you need to come look out the window. And we floated over to the window of the spaceship, and we could see what looked like sparks or a fountain coming out of our spaceship. And that's not good. You don't want something exploding out of your spaceship. And at first I thought maybe we'd been hit by a meteorite, and maybe it was just pieces but it was continuing to sort of spray out of our ship, Keenan. And when we really dug into it, we realized we were leaking the main coolant, the liquid that controlled the temperature of the whole spaceship, was leaking out to space. So what do you do then? And that's why astronauts have to train for years and years and years, because no matter what breaks on board a spaceship, no matter what goes wrong, you have to know what to do next. Sort of like being a doctor or a airplane pilot. And so we had very quickly, we had to change a whole bunch of switches. We had to depressurize our coolant system. And then we had to do an emergency spacewalk. And I had to choose which crew members were going to go outside to try and fix this big leak. And so I chose the two people who were the most qualified. We quickly got them dressed. They depressurized. They went outside into the empty vacuum of space. And in a 5-hour spacewalk, they managed to remove the leaking section and plug in a big new section. And we solved the leak and saved the space station. Otherwise, we would have had to abandon ship. But it didn't happen accidentally, Keenan. It happened because we knew what we were trying to accomplish, and we had trained and prepared and gotten ready for things to go wrong, so that when things go wrong, they don't just take you by surprise. And so for me, resilience and ability to respond to things going wrong, that's the only way to be successful in life. And it applies when you're a student in Brooklyn at Chris Hadfield Public School, but it also applies when you're Chris Hadfield commanding the world's spaceship. It's all the same.
Thank you, Keenan. Thank you. From Ontario, we're going to Saskatchewan now, in Saskatoon at École River Heights, with a question for you.
Hi, I'm Ari. Bonjour. Bonjour, Chris Hadfield. Bienvenue. Welcome to our class. We're happy to have you here, and we appreciate your work. We'll sing you a song and ask you a question in French and in English. But first, we would like to wish a happy birthday to someone who inspired you. 8 days ago, Buzz Aldrin turned 95. So happy birthday, Buzz. Anyways, we'll now be singing This Pretty Planet by Tom Chapin and the outro of Satellite of Love by Lou Reed.
This pretty planet, spinning through space. You're a garden, you're a harbor, you're a holy place. Golden sun going down, gentle blue giant, spin us around. All through the night, safe till the morning light. This pretty planet.
Je m'appelle Aileen.
And my name is Lucius.
Vous avez parlé de l'impact profond de voir la Terre depuis l'espace. Que nous enseigne cette perspective sur l'importance de prendre soin de notre planète et les uns des autres?
You have spoken of the profound impact seeing the Earth from space has had. What does this perspective teach us about the importance of taking care of the planet and each other?
Great. Thank you. Merci énormément aux élèves à River Heights, à Saskatoon. J'habitais à Saskatchewan il y a quelques années, mais plus au sud, à Moose Jaw. I used to live in Saskatchewan down in Moose Jaw. But thank you for the question. Yeah, it's an amazing perspective to see the world the way I've seen it. Imagine if you could go right from one side of Canada, from Victoria to St. John's, passing overhead of Saskatoon in 10 minutes. Like, what did you do in the last 10 minutes? Imagine if you could see the whole country in the time it takes to drink a can of soda pop. And so to see the whole world thousands of times, it deepens and changes your appreciation of the world. What you really learn is that life is almost exactly the same for everybody on Earth, and we're all the same. The people in Saskatoon are just the same as the people in Beijing and the people in Kinshasa. We're just people. And the world is incredibly old, 4.5 billion years old, and life has been here for 4 billion years. So those two things really affected me, that life and the existence of being human is common to everybody, and that life has been here for 4 billion years. Life is tough. The world is tough. They're not going anywhere. And so it made me eternally optimistic to see the world that way. We just need to work together. We need clear purpose. We need to do hard work. We need to find ways to cooperate, even when we know we sometimes disagree. And we need to work on that together on a regular basis. It's never going to be perfect. It never has been. But it's also been here for longer than we can imagine. So it made me an eternal optimist, but it made me want to work on being part of the solution from now on. And thank you very much for the lovely song. I was actually at Lou Reed's tribute and sang Satellite of Love when Lou Reed passed away. So it was very nice to hear that song. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're switching province again. We're going to British Columbia now, Abbotsford at the W.J. Mowat Secondary School.
Hi, my name is Parker. You've accomplished so much in your career. What's next for you? And what legacy do you hope to leave for future generations?
Thank you, Parker, and thanks to everybody at Abbotsford. I've flown airplanes at Abbotsford Airport. And then thanks to everybody at Joe Clark School in High River in Alberta. So in High River, you asked about music, and then in Abbotsford, you were asking about what's next. Yeah, I think music is really important. Some of the oldest human things we've ever found are musical instruments. We found musical instruments from almost 50,000 years ago. Music is really important to being human. It's how we tell each other stories. It's how we explain things to ourselves, and it's so beautiful. Imagine a week without any music. It's impossible. And then to talk about where we're going in the future and what's next for me. There are all kinds of things. I'm so curious about the world. I'm so fascinated by all of the things that are possible. And there's a lot of things, I hardly know anything. I know the things that I know how to do, but there's so much more. And imagine, and this is maybe not a bad way to finish, imagine if you had just come back to Earth inside your spaceship after 6 months off the planet, and your parachute opened and you crashed into the world and rolled to a stop, and you climbed out of your spaceship, and now you're looking around. What do you do now? What do you do with that experience? And to me, I think it's so important to share it, to let other people know what the world really truly looks like. And what does it look like as just one small place in the solar system or in the universe? And so that's why I do all the different things that I'm doing. It's why I just wrote my 6th book. And I think that's a good way to share. I do television series, like someone mentioned, because that's a good way to share it. I help run a bunch of companies because we need technologies to feed 10 billion people. And I want to be part of the solution, not just part of the problem. And then I still write music also. I think not only words and not only television, but how else can you let people feel what it's like to do something so unique as flying weightless on a spaceship? So that whole combination of studying and learning and helping and sharing the ideas every way you possibly can, to me, that's the way to live life. And that's what I'm up to right now. And thank you very much to everybody all across Canada and around the world for sharing in this call today. I wish every single one of you good choices as you decide what to do next.
Thank you so much, Chris Hadfield. It was wonderful to have you today. And thank you to all our young citizens of the world for being present. Thank you for your inspiring words. Bye bye tout le monde.